What is going on, guys? Blink here, back with a new guide. In this guide, I'll explain good times to edit your stairs and ways to bait people into peeking. Also, the V-Bucks giveaway is still going on, so make sure to visit the link in the description to enter. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications as I post an Amazon gift card code in the comments every time I upload. By turning on notifications, you'll have a way better chance of getting here first and redeeming that code. So in this guide, there won't be any cinematics because once again, Epic Games have corrupted most of the replays, which is unfortunate. I thought it was every big update, but it's also being corrupted no matter how small the update is. I'll have to figure out a better way of pre-planning the video so I'm able to get every cinematic needed. Anyways, guys, let's start with this guide. The first thing we'll get into is stair editing. So I'll explain this whole situation. There were two opponents around the airdrop, and the first one was walking around in the open with his building materials out. So I predicted he wasn't going to be a crazy challenge. Now I'm trying to spot the second opponent and see if there's anything that stands out from him. I shot his wall down and he never rebuilt it and just walked over to the fort beside him. He risked himself taking damage by not rebuilding one wall. So I knew these opponents weren't going to be a crazy challenge. I decided to go for the push, and the main focus on this guide is a surprise edit. You can see my opponent was waiting for me to peek out from one of the stair corners. If your opponent doesn't build and just sits under your materials, then hit him with an edit for some surprise shots. I edited the far side of my stairs so they break, and as that happened, I pulled out my shotgun to do some critical damage. My opponent never expected the edit, and it was an easy finisher. I could have also stayed on the floor platform behind me and did the same thing while keeping the high ground. As long as you're a pretty good builder and say you miss your shots, then make sure you're building to stop any return fire. Now remember to edit the far side of your stairs and not the close side. If you end up editing the close side, your stairs would still have been attached to the floor, creating a single sideways staircase which would have just blocked your vision onto your opponent, and you can't really do much with those sideways stairs. Now I'll show you guys a few different situations of stair edits. I've talked about some of these in older guides, but I'll quickly explain a few of them. So in this situation, I pushed up onto my opponent, and when you notice your opponent is under your stairs, you can quickly box him in from moving. After boxing him in, pull out your preferred close range weapon and edit the opposite side you're standing on, and you'll drop down and be able to get some surprise damage on him. This is similar to my last guide where I've talked about quick decision making. This applies right around that category by noticing ways to give you advantages. Even if you're a great builder, that fight could have taken much longer and utilized much more utilities, but by noticing fatalities your opponents are in, you'll stop the fight before it even happens. So make sure you guys are really trying to improve your knowledge towards the game every day. Even if your opponent has done something cool that you've never seen before, then try replicating it in future fights. Take advantage of the replay system Epic provides. Rewatch the situation and apply it into your own playstyles. Once again, the more you can assess situations and try turning them into advantages, the better you'll surely get. So this next situation is about outbuilding your opponents with that extra staircase. I was having issues jumping because, as you guys know, if you jump too much, you have to wait a little for it to reset. Thankfully, I was able to stretch that extra staircase above my opponent, and he wasn't sure how to counter the situation. This allowed me to make an edit and get the drop on him. This example has been shown plenty of times in my past guides, which is why I won't talk about it too much, as you guys already know about it. So to basically conclude these three examples, if you notice players under your stairs, then make sure you're making those edits to get that drop on them. A lot of the times they won't expect it and it'll grant you the kill. Just make sure you hit the shots on the drop, or the situation might not go the way you'd like. So in this situation, I'll talk about shot baiting. First of all, my opponent tried looting without building walls. Always make sure to build cover if you know there's an opponent basically watching you. He knew I was inside the fort but proceeded to loot, which wasn't smart. I was able to hit him with the sniper, and then he figured out he should have built walls. So I also spotted his teammate on the right wall. Now remember I've talked about players tunnel visioning on one opponent for too long? Well, the opponent behind the wall thought I tunnel visioned onto his teammate, so he was expecting some easy shots. Little did he know I was baiting him into peeking so I can get a quick shot on him. This is a super good way of baiting players into peeking. Shoot in the direction of his teammate as you closely watch him. When he peeks his head out, switch to the sniper and go for the shot. It really sucks I'm not able to show off better angles to help visualize it a little better, but I'll figure out how to better prepare for these little updates to avoid the loss of better camera angles. Anyways, I was able to place enough pressure onto his teammate to win the game. So in this next situation, there was a player inside his porta-fort, and I made sure I was fully healed before engaging. I missed my stair jump and noticed he wouldn't stop shooting his rifle. Watch closely as he doesn't even move and just focuses on destroying my materials. So what I did was go for a fake build-up by placing a few walls above me. Little did he know I was going for that peek from the right. If you notice absolutely no movement and just constant spray, then expect your opponent to be standing still most of the time. So take advantage of that by trying to go for the lineup. I'll tell you guys right now, snipers can play a big part in winning, which is why I'll be creating a pretty epic sniper guide very soon. So be on the lookout for that. Now, one more tip is to make sure your opponent is on the right side of your screen for that right side peeking advantage. You never want to peek from the left because you'll expose most of your body before you're even able to line up a shot. Now, this last situation, this player had his head basically peeked out the whole time. What I did was every time I'd place his stair down, I'd make sure to jump up to see if this player was peeking. Now, you should always be jumping when moving, but make sure you're paying attention if your opponent is peeking out or not. It'll help you figure out where to start pre-lining up your shot instead of getting on the stairs and then lining up your shot. By already knowing where your opponent is, you'll have an easier time lining up your shots faster. So every time I place the staircase down, I try to line up a shot, and I also looked back to bait a peek. Usually the stairs is the bait. When opponents see you getting closer, they'll try to destroy your stairs to get some shots in. This opponent tried shooting me in the head, which is good, but if he started shooting my stairs, I'd quickly place a wall in front of my stairs for that extra support and peek out for a shot. So if you ever notice players just constantly shooting as you push up, then try going for a quick peek to see if you can land a shot. Well guys, that's it for this guide. Unfortunately, it wasn't possible to add the extra camera angles, but hopefully I have still helped some people out, and a like and a sub would be greatly appreciated as it does help me out a lot. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you on the next one.